So in this video, you're gonna learn exactly how we at Business Grow set up $100,000 per month trading Discord funnels that we run on Whop for some of your favorite trading creators. And you're gonna learn everything we use for them, exact ways we do the content, how we have lead magnets off the content to actually collect leads to get them in the Discord, how we set up the Discord for conversions, how we set up the email automations, the sites, the way we set up unique mechanisms so that we can actually build a brand around our guys, etc. And even if you're starting from zero, I go over the roadmap near the end of the video where it actually shows you what I would do if I had to start all over and start one person from zero, which we've done many, many times. And if you're bigger, this will still show you exactly how we set up that system. And at the end, I'm actually gonna go into how you can get that system for yourself plugged in for you with an MRR guarantee. So stick to the end. All right, so let's get into the presentation. If you don't already know who I am, my name's Andy Pham. I work alongside my partner Louis Band. He's also on this channel at the moment, so you can click through the YouTube video and go find some videos from both of us. If you want to learn more about trading discords, I would do that after this video, all right? And we've worked with some of the largest trading creators in the space, people like Dodgy, like JackTrades, like Colin Jones, a ton of other names that are actually on the page in the description after the YouTube video if you want to take a look at that. But let's get into it, all right? So we actually recently, like I said in the intro, we just grew someone from literally 0 followers, 0 posts. He did have an advantage. He worked previously he had a creative background, so he's a TV producer, all right? This guy's name is The Creative Trader, Lee Jacobs. You can search him on Instagram. You can see right as of this moment. In fact, let me pull it up. So as you can see on my screen here, hopefully, so this is Lee Jacobs, Creative Trader. He only has 92 posts. He doesn't even have any of these posts. These are all real. So he's been doing this for about 3 months. He has 17.6 thousand followers already, and he's already made well over 50,000 in revenue, and it's literally been 3 months, all right? So I'm just showing you, basically, this is proof we can do this from scratch. As of making this presentation, I think he was at like pay revenue and like posts, so that was quite a while ago, and it only took him 45 days to get to this milestone, all right? So everything I'm teaching you this video will work from scratch, or if you have a bigger audience, in fact, people with normally a bigger audience, or at least some sort of audience, we normally work even better with, all right? But if you're running a trading Discord funnel at all, you normally have either 2 problems, all right? You're either getting a ton of traffic, so you might have a ton of followers, but you're making no money, or you have a ton of people already in, you're spending all your time in the Discord, you have super happy members, and you might have revenue, but you have no way to actually like, whether you're struggling with getting traffic or maybe your churn rate's too high or you have no idea how to expand what you're doing, that would be like tweak kind of deal. Either way, this system will help you solve those issues, all right? So before we get into that, here's why the timing on this is actually like this is the reason why the education business or online education is booming, all right? So on Whop right now, it's very interesting. I hope I can pull up this data for you guys, maybe not. But you guys can go look this up. And from the data I get, this is all public. I don't have any insider info with Whop. I could probably get it. But regardless, 21,000 trading products listed on Whop right now. Apparently only 105 ever cross 100,000 a month, which is really, really impressive because I've seen multiple of our clients get there, all right? And apparently 88% actually never even make a dollar, which is kind of crazy, all right? But why you should be doing this now is actually because the creator economy online and really the info space in general is absolutely blowing up, and not just the info creator space but online education as a whole. Like even those old courses you saw from like Ivy and Daniel Negreanu, poker, what was that called? Like I bet there's some chess classes as well as on there. Like education for everything is absolutely booming, all right? And a big part of that is Discord at the moment. So Discord currently, the reason why we use Discord and not Whop for communities is because Discord has 689 million registered users. Apparently, obviously, it includes duplicates and stuff like that. But that's how many users they have registered on their platform. Compared to Whop, that's not a lot. What I'm saying is people already use Discord. People don't normally use Whop, all right? Monthly, apparently 2 users are active each month. And I'm pretty sure this was a Goldman Sachs stat. 480 billion, they expect by 2027 for the yearly creator economy to hit $480 billion in revenue, which is fucking nuts and it's growing 20 or 30% every year. It's absolutely blowing up. While traditional education, university, year over year, less people are going every single year while the population is growing, which is a pretty bad sign. My theory is it's just way too expensive and it doesn't get you very much if we're being real. So at the moment, literally over half of all social media users actually purchase products directly through social platforms. So whether it be Instagram ads, whether it be TikTok ads, TikTok Shop a huge one for this. Even YouTube has a shop now. The audience is there across all across all age demographics. Gen Z is the main one, but you need the system to actually capture. And if you're selling trading info or some sort of info business, even if you're not doing trading, which if you're not, I'm not, you're on this video, but it doesn't really what you're doing. You just need to have a system to be able to basically, I like to say brainwash because it sounds a bit better, but really you need to prove to them that you can actually solve their problem. And that is what the system is there for, so that you can actually capture these leads and capture this revenue that is absolutely just fucking changing the world right now. All right. But you're running a trading Discord. Most of you guys are making a single mistake that is absolutely destroying your conversions before the system that you may or may not have plugged in right now. If you don't, then keep watching these YouTube videos and then you might want to book a call in the description. But you're making one mistake that kills you before it ever even gets a chance to work, if you do have one, all right? And so it's not normally what you think it is. Like what people blame is like, oh, I don't have any traffic, which if you have zero traffic, that actually is the case. Oh, I don't have enough followers, people don't trust me, which, you know, sometimes it is if you have 0 followers. But if you have like 10K, we have people with like less than 10 followers. I have a client with 12 followers last month who did over 100K high ticket. All right. Actually, I think 90K of that high ticket. I think 12 of that was like low, or maybe that was like mid ticket. You get the point. Like, if you have a system behind it, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. It doesn't matter, you know, what your niche is. It matters more about how you can actually frame that and frame your authority and build enough trust in the audience for them to want to buy from you. All right. So the real difference is actually going to be in the way you structure your offer to cold audiences. It's going to be the way you're able to nurture leads, automated if possible, because that's way more scalable than anything else you're going to do, especially if you're getting like hundreds of leads a day, and the actual strategy you have behind your content so that you're attracting the right kind of leads who have the problem that your actually solves. All right. So the number one mistake most of you guys are making is you guys on the next slide, apparently. So the complete funnel, and in its very most basic terms, at the top of the funnel, you guys have probably seen the little vertical fat, right? There's always going to be like content at the top, and then at the bottom you have, or in the middle, some sort of middle of funnel, whether it be email list, whatever it is. Use a lead magnet normally, or some sort of opt-in. Maybe it's like a webinar, maybe it's a free event, maybe it's a workshop, whatever it is. Some sort of free offer, or even paid offer, paid HPC work to capture those leads. And then after that, once you build enough trust and authority in your brand with the audience, then you can monetize and sell them something. All right. And that's how you convert basically cold viewers into qualified leads and then eventually paying customers. All right. And ideally, if you actually want to scale and get as big as these guys, like some of our clients, like TGR, he's not a client, but I'm just giving you examples of people you might know. Dodgy is one of our clients. You know, Roger Bat. Ideally, you want to automate every single stage, and every single stage should actually not only qualify the buyer, but warm them up for the next level in your system. All right. Pretty much, you're going to build this once, you're going to check KPIs on it every week or so, make edits on it if necessary, and it makes you money while you sleep. That's what's so incredibly powerful about this, and why there's so much money running through the info space at the moment. The absolute blowing up of social media, absolute blowing up of online education space, and also the death and downfall, really, of traditional education. Those all play a factor into why you can make so much money on the internet right now. All right. So Google did a data study back in the early, was it 2000s or 2010s? Doesn't really matter. Regardless, they found across billions of data points on internet businesses, in order to turn a cold viewer or whatever, just like average person, into a buying customer, on average, they need to consume 7 hours of your content across 11 different touch points in 4 different locations. So this could be different platforms like Instagram, email, Discord, SMS, TikTok, YouTube. YouTube's going to be a big one because you need those 7 hours, and those 11 touch points are really, really easy to get as long as you're hitting them, and maybe the email, whatever, SMS, and then you can hit them through that. All right. It's actually based on the ZMOT study, so you can go look that up if you want. But this is scientifically proven across millions or billions of data points on internet sales. All right. So big points that we use for this is going to be short form content, email sequences. We like to have a free community, which is basically a hub for all this other stuff as well. They all kind of tie into each other. If you watch some of our other videos, we call this, and you may know this as a nurture web. And this is what we plug in for our guys. All right. Long form is a huge part of this because it's really hard for someone to consume 7 hours of your content if you're not doing like live events or you have long form. And long form is the most leveraged one, especially if you're hitting key search terms, because you're getting hours of interaction, and basically you're on like sales calls with the guys literally while you sleep. And if 100 an hour your video in a day, you just got like basically on 100 sales calls. Obviously, if you have a CTA that's strong, then you can literally just make money with it. But if not, still, regardless, you're warming up your audience and you'll be able to sell them something in the future. All right. But the nice part about this nurture web is that it's actually a flywheel. And if you don't know what this means, basically, like it's a positive loop, all right? It spins faster with every rotation. So the more content you post, the more leads you get, the better you can set up the system to nurture those leads. The more you convert them, the more you can retain these leads, and it's going to be the quicker you can scale, right? So the center of the flywheel is always going to be content. I don't know why it says 100K a month there, but honestly, this flywheel very easily gets you to 100K per month, especially if you do this for like 1-2 years, right? But each rotation gets cheaper and faster if you're posting, and if you're like running ads, it gets cheaper if you're posting content, which eventually you will be doing both. It gets even faster, all right? And this is kind of the engine. The flywheel starts with one thing, and it's actually going to be the unique mechanism that you have with your brand, because the whole point of the flywheel is basically to get people obsessed with your brand, obsessed with your content, whatever it is. And a huge part of actually selling yourself and selling your brand is having some sort of unique mechanism. All right. Hopefully we go on to that in the next slide. We don't. So let me talk more about your unique mechanism. So what unique is, very, very simply put, something that you have that nobody else has, that only you teach. So basically, it's a one thing where you can become an expert in your specific like niche. All right. We did this really, really well with FVGs were basically nothing before Dodgy. I'd say Dodgy popularized them. ICT says this as well. But he built his massive brand around IFVGs, and he spread that and made a cult-like audience around it. Now, even our clients now also trade IFVGs, right? A lot of our other clients have done this. JackTrades had his 4-hour PO3. This new guy, Jacob's Creative Trader, has his confirmation model. Maybe he changed the name. It's probably confirmation. Yeah, it might still be. Colin Jones had his 3-step model. Don't know what other examples. Even some of the people that aren't our clients that are the biggest in the space. Let's name some of them. FX Alex G. He actually just streaked the Super Bowl. His unique mechanism, he had painted across his chest, which was like trade in the spot or something. I think he's like a software. I think it's like Athena or something. But yes, pretty much everyone, you will want a unique mechanism, because this is something you can build yourself around, and this is something you can push. All right, this is something you can build that cult-like audience around. So how to start this flywheel. All right, so the first and second stage is basically going to be hitting people for the first time. The easiest way to do this and the cheapest way to do this is short form content. All right, the top ways we've seen to actually get, there are basically 3 ways that we hit top of funnel leads throughout our business, all of our clients. And the number 1 is short form content, paid ads, and then the number 3 is like TikTok, YouTube, lives. All right. And that's a new one, but that has performed really, really well, especially for some of our Australian guys. But really, with short form content, because it's so easy to get views and get your first touch point, as long as you structure it well and have a strong CTA on the back end, you can collect so many leads. It's absolutely free, and it does not take you long because you don't have to put a lot of effort into editing it. In fact, once you kind of find out the formula and the way you do it that works for you and your unique mechanism, it is so easy to make, and it gets you so many leads. It makes you so much money. All right. So the best part is that once you have the lead magnet and you set up the automations on the back end, like the ManyChat, the email automations, all this, once you post reels, you just get leads automatically. You get more views on your YouTube videos, which also get you more leads automatically. And that's how the flywheel actually ends up starting. All right. So what do we actually do for our short form content? The format that we normally use is split screen short reels. So you'll have like your face on top, bottom. I'm sure you've seen so many of these. You've probably seen our clients do these. And TradingView the other side. All right. So we recommend 30 posts per month minimum. So our guarantee actually, which if you're looking for a system done for you and for yourself with an MRR guarantee, that's going to be the first video in the description. I walk you through the guarantee and how we plug in the system for you, what kind of results to get on the numbers. So if you're interested in that, click that. But it's a conditional guarantee. So we recommend at least 1 short form post a day. That is required for the conditional guarantee. And if you do that for a year, you will hit your MRR goals. In fact, we've literally never had to refund anyone as of recording this video. All right. And I doubt we will have to. So once you have CTA on the back end, you CTA to a lead magnet or your Discord. Most of it should be a lead magnet. It's a Discord if you don't have a lead magnet. And maybe even like, for example, one of our clients is going to do a webinar next weekend. We can CTA to a webinar. All right. But it's a very simple automation, runs 100% automatically. You don't have to mess with it after you set it up. You just all posts and then you just post. And the way it works is that most of the time you'll just say like, comment checklist, send you my free checklist on how I trade IFGs, whatever it is. And then they just comment the word checklist or list or is, and then it sends them an auto DM with the lead magnet, collects their email, their name, maybe their phone number if you have a high ticket and you want your setters dialing an outrageous amount of leads that might not even be qualified. And then they'll get an email sequence, getting them in the Discord, pitching them your Godfather offer, actually getting them the PDF, and then they're in your email list. You can hit them with blasts, you can invite them to webinars, you can invite them to all these different things. You have another touch point. You can send them YouTube videos, so you're getting more hours on your 7-Eleven 4, and you're hitting them in another location, so you're omnipresent, all right? So really, this is probably the most important part, especially if you're starting from scratch, which we're gonna talk about later. But if you're not already posting content and you don't already have a lead magnet, this is what you need to do today. Even if you're not going to work with us, even if you're never going to see my face again, if you're selling info, make sure you're actually posting content to get leads, and then you're actually collecting those leads so that you're able to work them. Honestly, like you could leads, work them, you get money. It's that simple, all right? And stage 3 to 4, so I kind of talked about that, but ideally your lead magnet solves one sort of micro problem. So for like the checklist example, basically the micro problem would be like, oh, I trade your model, or I'm going to learn to trade your model. What should I be looking for in your model? All right, it shouldn't be like a generic options or like options Greek guide. You can get that everywhere on the internet. It's not tied into your unique mechanism at all. Oh, in fact, that's right here. You want it tied to your unique mechanism and you want it to solve a very specific problem that the content before that builds demand for. So if your short form was like designed to get people to be like, oh, I need a strategy, or like, oh, I need to trade this strategy, or like, I already trade the strategy. How do I make sure I only take the A+ setups? Then you CTA to the lead magnet that solves that micro problem that you just implanted in their head, basically. And it exists, they just weren't aware of it before, right? So it's not like it's making them more aware and helping them solve their issues. And ideally, it's super quick to value and has an immediate result. All right. So ideally, it's usable in their next trade. That's why we do stuff like checklists. That's why we do stuff like flow charts, like breakdowns, like point rating. Like this is an A+ setup, this is an A- setup, this is a B+ setup. Because the quicker they can get the result and the more evergreen it is, like something they can leave on their second monitor while they trade, the more time they're being exposed to your brand, the more time they're being exposed to your unique mechanism. And that's how you very, very easily build a very loyal audience, a cult-like audience, like we call it. All right. So then the email sequence on the back end, really none of this matters. But what it is you actually get them it, you make sure they're getting in the Discord, and then you can proof, you send them YouTube videos. You really want them to binge your YouTube. That's a big part of this system. And then you can pitch them your Godfather offers, stuff like that, and then certain events. All right, so basically just building up unique mechanism, warming up, building trust, building authority by them learning from you, and then eventually when you pitch stuff, they are more likely to buy, believe it or not. All right, 10% of the leads that we actually get end up converting to the free trial from day 5 alone, and the sequence runs forever once built. So again, like you get this plugged in, and then it's pretty hands off there. All you have to do is make sure you're tracking the KPIs on it. So if messaging needs to change, or if certain things aren't working as well as they should, you can make those fixes and changes, and that's what we do for Done For. All right. All right, so now slide to 7. Basically, this is going to be like the hub of it. So once you've already hit them and once you've already got them basically sold in your unique mechanism, now you're doing the real work. All right. And this is probably going to be the longest part of the sales cycle. If you're doing like high ticket, for low ticket, sales cycle shouldn't really matter too much unless they're like broke or something. Basically, you want to get them in your free Discord. And this could be, realistically, I say free Discord because it's a big search term on a channel. People like to look up trading Discord. They don't look up like trading school. But this will absolutely work for a school, for Teachable, for Kajabi, whatever you run your community on, for if you run your community in Whop even. One of our we're doing that. They're switching back to Discord now, but all of that is completely fine. But once you're in the free community, you want to be basically sending them between free Discord, YouTube, more lead magnets. And YouTube is a big part of this. YouTube, I call the crown jewel of the funnel, because really your YouTube wants to be like the hub where go to go get a value from you and get sold in a unique mechanism and then get the best CTAs. Like almost all your videos or a lot of your YouTube videos should basically be like mini VSLs. That's a certain problem. And then CTA to either a VSL that they now just got built demand for, or if it is VSL, then CTA to something that will actually get you paid. But yeah, stages basically get them in the free community, get them in the YouTube, and then you pitch them a paid product. All right. So the way we set up Discords, if you're interested in that, that's going to be in the description as well. I'm not going to leave a tag in the top right because I can't be fucked. But in the description, you're going to be able to see exactly how we set up Discords for conversions. And this is not something that is worth 10,000, which is why it's free on YouTube. But the rest of what we do is worth more. But yeah, there's a lot of social proof in there. There's CTA channels. There's a free education, the PDFs, the lead magnets, a lot of stuff in the Discord. And it's really, really important to have in your free community so you can actually build that audience and that kind of hub. All right. And then YouTube, you want to have a ton of YouTube in your Discord, and you want to have your YouTube CTA to other YouTube videos because you want people binging your YouTube to build that 7 hours. After that, honestly, in your YouTube, in your email automations, then you can literally just pitch them because they should have so much trust in you, and you should have built so much authority in your brand, in your unique mechanism, that honestly, they would literally like just bang on your door to learn from you, beg from you. You'll know if you're doing this right because you'll get DMs like, yo, bro, how do I get one-on-ones with you? Or like, when are you a one-on-one mentorship? That's how you know you've done this like an amazing way. All right. And so generally with your paid product, whatever your offer stack is, we like to do free trials for our Godfather offers, get card on file, reduces the friction, get people in the low ticket, and then we can eventually upsell those guys to mid ticket, high ticket, whatever it is. But each tier should build demand for the next. All right. So yeah, if you have a low ticket, then yeah, your low ticket's lowest friction one. That's what you generally will be pitching to most of your audience. And then you can upsell from there. You can do certain webbies to the mid ticket, to the high ticket, whatever. Doesn't really matter. As long as you have the system in place, you will sell stuff. All right. Just make really the system isn't like, oh, how do I build it specifically for this offer? Generally, with personal brands and for the info space, you want to just build a brand or build yourself up and become that brand that people want to buy from. And then whatever you sell, like whatever Hormozi's next, whatever Iman Gadzi sells next, whatever any of the people you can think about will sell next, they will make money regardless on how good the offer is because they've built that brand, they've built that authority, right? So if they're selling it, it must be good. You get the point. Cool. But yeah, I mean, a little bit of context on some of our clients' unique mechanism. Creative Trader went from 0 to 13K followers in 30 days. He has a confirmation model. JackTrades trades the 4-hour PO3, 4-hour power at 10 a.m. or something like that off the 10 a.m. candle. Colin Jones has a 3-step model. AdeelTrades actually trades a market structure model, so that's wrong. And then JackTrades IFVGs. All right. So the reason why they do this is because you kind of want to put into a category of like one, like I'm the only that teaches this. All right. The unique mechanism basically kind of acts as like because it's going to repel the wrong audience if you CTA right, and it's going to attract people that actually have the problem that your product solves or that your mechanism solves even, and then they're going to become like a cult like around your brand. All right. So when you're creating your unique mechanism, if you don't already have one, you kind of have to ask questions. All right. So if you're a trader, obviously it's going to be like whatever your strategy is. Like, what do you? I ask this in calls all the time with people, with some clients, because it's like, okay, I don't know what to do for my unique mechanism. Okay, what do you? Is it like ICT? Is it spawn resistance? Oh, it's ICT. Okay, so do you have a specific model? Is it like literally just screens? Oh, okay, I wait for a session high or low to be swept, and then I wait for an inverse off of that, trade standard deviation, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not a good trader. Don't expect me to be. Some of our members are profitable traders. I definitely am not. But regardless, basically define your mechanism like yourself. And honestly, if you're a trader, my opinion doesn't matter because I'm not a good trader. But I think you should be able to explain your model in like 2-3 sentences. All right. So if you can do that, you're probably going to be pretty all right. And if you had to brand that approach, what would you call it? Like ideally, it has to do like For example, one of our clients, one of our newer guys, he's already doing like 50K a month, but he just named his unique mechanism the sweep and inverse model, because guess what? I was talking about him. He waits for a sweep and then he takes an inverse. All right. So literally can be as simple as that. I have another client who just made the another Australian client. He just has the R8 model, and guess what? It's because that model is buying him an R8. So literally, it doesn't have to be like the most perfect. There's something you brand yourself around, and yes, this is something you can change later. Ideally, you don't have to. So whatever you want it to be, it can be literally whatever. It's like a, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't really matter much, but if it's catchy, it's you get a bar. And if you can teach the concept in like 5 to 10 minutes, that's probably good. You can turn that into a lead magnet. All right. Which means that probably like a good unique. Ideally, I've had the reason why I say to define it and like can you teach is because people are like, oh, I do this specific thing like this way, I order flow in Greeks, and it's like shit, that makes it tough. Like, can you see if you can define it in these 3 ways? Is there a specific model in a way you do this? Okay, cool. Let's take that. Some guys are like, yeah, I mean, the most about me is the way I use prop firm accounts to do et cetera, and manage my risk. It's like, oh, okay, let's turn that on. Right. So it doesn't even have to be like a trading strategy. And those guys do, it's like 70K a month. So these mechanisms work. All right. Just giving you more examples, more perspective. But really, once you have this mechanism, it will power everything in your funnel. So if you have this unique mechanism, you're actually, like this sentence is right, you're not just creating content, you're actually distributing like a system and a brand, and now you're actually building yourself around something. You're not just like banging your head at a wall, posting trade recaps and random shit. All right. The creative trader did really, really well, and a big part of why he was able to blow up so quickly and why he still gets a lot of views to this day, even though his growth has slightly slowed down. He's like 18K followers. I think he hit 15 in 30 days, I think it was. And I think he did it, or no, it was 15 in 45 days. And I think he hit it in like 48, right? So like 2 or 3 days later. But still, regardless, it was a very, very impressive feat. Without a unique mechanism, if you're posting content, you're literally just another trader. Like, could you imagine Audrey, like, instead of building his brand around IFGs, if he just talked about like, oh, here's how you trade options, guys. Here's how you, look at if it's above 0.5, then you take leaps. I don't fucking know. You get the point. Like, if and you don't have a unique mechanism, it's very, very hard to build a brand around. That's why you see all these people have like these new things. XAlexG switches its unique mechanism like every damn 3 months, especially for launches, right? Like that's what you brand, and then you can sort of brand off that, some sort of launch. FXAlexG does it really well. Dodgy's built a massive brand off IFGs over the last 2.5 years. All right, we started working with him like 2 years ago. It was in January 2024, so it's been quite a while. But this is absolutely what we should do first. This is what we do first for our done for you clients. If you have no, you're generally pretty forgettable, and you compete on price. Like if it's like, because why all these, you'll notice back like 3, 4 years ago, signal group things were huge when everybody was like getting into trading, and as a beginner, there wasn't a lot of like good trading content out. Or like so many signal groups, like a ton of alerters. You were in one of those, you probably know like Demon, Amar, can't remember any of them, but you get the point. Everybody had those guys, and all they did was compete on price. Like they would charge like bucks a month, 29 bucks a month. And it was like they make 20K a month, have thousands of members, and it's like, okay, well, this isn't gonna last. That's why you've seen all of them die out, because there's no actual brand behind it. There's no like real value. You're just kind of, they were just riding the wave. Unique mechanism, and when with a personal brand, this is how you build long-term success. So Dodgy's probably, even if he does fall off, he's always going to make over like 200K a month. All right. Same with a lot of these guys in the space. Really, anyone that you see with a unique mechanism who is pretty big, they will always do well because they've been able to build a personal brand around themselves and their unique mechanism. All right. So with a mechanism, it gives you that identity, that brand identity, kind of filters your audience. You're generally going to get like shit beginner traders, or super, super niche they know nothing about. Which is why when you use a little bit more sophisticated language in your videos and then you have a unique mechanism tied in, you're generally attracting the right kind of lead who is interested in educational trading content and not just like some retarded college kid seeing numbers on a screen and being like, oh, I should learn how to trade so I can get a C8 Corvette and move to Miami, right? And then you get to charge more, which is why a lot of our guys are able to charge like 8 to 12 to 14 for a one-on-one mentorship, all right? And the reason why we do split screen content and why basically it just performs better than every other format. Sometimes doesn't perform better than Talking Head and like some shit for views. It will absolutely destroy those formats anyways. A lot of the times in views, but almost every single time, about 99.99% of the time, in actually generating revenue, getting leads, getting qualified leads, and to nurture those leads into paying customers. All right. And it's such a simple thing as well. You literally just need like two tools, probably just OBS or what recording software you use. I'm on OBS. Most all of our guys are on OBS, and then you have TradingView, right? So you can just go into OBS. There's a video on this as well where I go through this. That's going to be in the description as well. But you literally, in fact, just go to that video. Just click. It's going to be like fourth or fifth link in the description. It's called how we make 100 trading content or something like that. Just go watch that if you want to learn how to set it up. Post once per day. Zero editing skills required, because all you do is throw it into CapCut, cut out the silences, make sure visual engagement is there, put on the hook title, and then you're good to go. Literally, that's it. All right, just cut it up so that it's quick, engaging, and then put the hook title on, and you're good. Don't even need music, although you could add music. A lot of our guys do, some don't. We haven't seen it to make a huge difference in the performance of the video. All right, you don't really need expensive gear, although we do recommend obviously good camera, good mic, stuff like that, nice setup. That is always nice for performance. But the reason why it performs so well is because it actually can prove that you can provide value to these guys. So a big thing about the talking head, where you're generally not talking about really anything important, as well as the brain stuff, is because, or just like showing P&Ls, trade recaps, whatever. Trade recaps do prove you can trade, kind of. A lot of people, but the thing with those is it's kind of like, it doesn't, even if trade recap, it doesn't prove that you can actually provide value to the audience. So really, number one here, it shouldn't really be like proves you can trade, but it proves you can provide value to the audience that you're actually targeting, right? If you're already teaching them on the chart and they go and back test it, then it's like, okay, this guy clearly knows what he's talking about. What he's talking about clearly works. I want to learn from him because I'm already, it's kind of like a cost thing where they're already learning from you. They already know about your unique mechanism. They've already back tested it, whatever. But it's also just like you clearly are someone who knows what they talk about if you can already provide them value up front. And that's why Hormozy has so much content out on literally just providing value. And pretty much everyone in the world, TGR blew up off his boot camps. Everyone has educational content. All right. Number two is that people learn about your unique mechanism and it raises awareness on it before even joining your community, before joining your email list, whatever. So it's kind of already pre-selling them value and convincing them that they should even come into your middle of funnel, right? And number three, the split screen method specifically pretty much always attracts the right person, because the only person that will ever watch you explaining some sort of strategy or something on a chart on TradingView is someone who actually has the problem that your product solves. So someone who's actually interested in trading, wants to learn trading, can understand the sophisticated language you're using, and you won't attract like Indians that will come in with time. This is especially important if you have a sales team and you're selling a high ticket, because you don't want them bogged down by like Ramour from Bangladesh who makes bucks a month, right? And that's not being racist. Just you won't be able to sell that person on a 10K program, statistically speaking, from anecdotal and empirical evidence. But if you're actually looking to grow your brand and grow your funnel in the first place, content is always going to be at the top of this flywheel. All right. If you're not posting content, it's going to be very hard for you to get leads. Even if you're running ads, you should be posting content. We run ads. We spent hundreds, actually, we've probably spent over $1 million on ads by this point, but our content is still such a high percent of our last touch revenue, as well as even some of our first touch revenue, just because all the ad traffic should be going into our free community and our email list and our YouTube, and we should email these YouTube videos out because it's such a huge part of that 7-11-4. So if you're not posting content, and especially if you're not running ads, you're not getting any leads, and if you're getting no leads, you're not getting any revenue, right? So really, if you're starting from scratch, the first thing I would do, post 30 posts a month. Just post once a day, post some split screen educational content. Make sure you go steal hooks from some of our top clients, some of the top performers in the industry, whoever it is. Make sure you tie in your unique mechanism and CTA to a lead magnet every single video with some sort of ManyChat automation behind it. And if you're not on Instagram for some reason, Instagram is always like our top platform next to YouTube. It's like Instagram, touch, YouTube, obviously top last touch. First touch, also YouTube, interestingly. It was like TikTok, Twitter, and then that's about it. All right. So CTA to lead magnet every single time. If you're on TikTok or any of these other short form platforms, YouTube Shorts even, then what you can do is just tell them to go to the link in bio. Maybe pin a comment. I know, or what's it called? ManyChat actually has TikTok now, so just throw it on there. It supports that. Just make sure you're not on a business account because some of our clients have ran into issues with that. But super, super, super easy. But honestly, the best of the system is that once you build it, you can scale the fuck out of it and just deliver it to everyone. All right. So, like, for example, your ManyChat will run delivery literally 24/7. Unique mechanism if you're posting short form and YouTube, just organic content in general, and you're putting in the right places. You're putting in your Discord, you're putting it in your email automations, everything like that. This will just run delivery and the building of your brand 24/7, even while you sleep. All right. Literally requires no manual effort, doesn't even need a team. But obviously, a team makes it much, much easier. All right, so real quick, I wanted to go over the Discord portion. If you're interested in going into depth, like exactly how we set up as well as a free Discord template that a lot of our newer guys use, which is exactly actually how we set up Dodgy server and a lot of our client servers, then that's going to be a video in the description. It's going to be how we set up 100K per month trading Discords for Whop 2026 update. Because as of recording this, it's 2026. If it's in the future for you and it's 2027 or beyond, then it's quite cool that you're watching this video, and I hope it also applies. It should, because this shit has applied since 2014. All right, so it could still work. But real quick for your Discord, if you already have one looking at it, like your offer should always be at the top. There are generally 3 zones, so ideally your first section is going to be like, you don't have to have your video in there. You can CTA. Some of our clients put their VSL page in here, and if it's high ticket, then that's a big part of it. You always want your high ticket CTA at the top, where they can go, they watch your VSL, they book a call, or they opt in, get called by your setter, whatever it is. And then for low ticket, like obviously you can send them to your low ticket VSL page and have your pricing there, but also just make sure like your Godfather offer is there, right? So your first channel, your first category should be like free trial, and your first channel should be like free trial. And then guess what you'd have in there? Your free trial. All right. It's basically like honestly, your channel structure inside of Discord is like a mini landing page. All right. So you want to treat it like one. The second zone, you want to have value. All right, so generally proof that you know what you're doing, and this is value in general. It doesn't even have to be steak and steal. So a big part of this is like free education. So we do recommended YouTube videos, like we based on the problem. If you have problems with this, or like if you have problems with this, then go watch these videos. If you have problem with psychology or something, go watch these videos. And we'll either run that in like a forum channel or just a Discord channel. Just text you have these YouTube videos that people can go watch. Another big part of it is like trade recap. So after you take a trade, Dodgy does this insanely well. If you go into his channel, Discord channel right now, the trade recaps channel is free. A big mistake some of these guys make. Trade recaps are like premium only for some reason. But the cool part about the trade recaps, making them free, is that especially if you're a live trader, you always give them after the trade, right? So it's not like they traded with you and they took the setup, or maybe they could have took the setup with you, but they get the FOMO because they're like, oh, in the live we took this setup, and you weren't. So part of it, and then as well as like testimonials, and then we also magnet PDFs in there. So if you want, instead of sending them the Google Drive link in the email, you can send them to the Discord channel where they can go find that PDF. And that's a super, super easy way to kind of bump up member joins a bit while still collecting their email, still getting the full benefit of that. But in email, you just send them the link to the Discord to make sure they're getting in the Discord. Because that's such a huge part of getting through the 7-Eleven-4. Because once they're in the Discord, they'll be seeing your notifications every day. They'll see notifications when you post new YouTube videos. They'll go through your free education section, stuff like that. And if you set it up right, your conversions will probably like 2-3x, honestly. Like it is really, really powerful. All right. Yeah, like every post kind of pre-state upgrade. So you do inside your Discord, like the trade recaps or your educational mechanism breakdowns. They want to go learn it live from you, and they want to go trade live with you. And then that Godfather offer just takes them over the edge, right? And then, yeah, you can announce like member wins and stuff like that. This is cool. They'll see testimonials. They'll see social proof. If you haven't read the book Influence, go buy that on Amazon and read, because everything we set up in the Discord is basically from that book, and like how to win friends and influence people. So if you want that system and you want exactly how we set up the Discord, then go click that video in the description, and then you're going to go see exactly how we do it from my pretty handsome face. All right. But if you're starting from complete scratch, then let's go through it. All right, but if you're starting from absolute $0 in revenue and you're under like 1K a month, the only thing I would do is literally just grind content. All right, and it says sell high ticket there, but I'm gonna be completely clear about this. If you need money, like if you're like, okay, I'm in this really want to make some quick money, then you sell high ticket. All right, because when you're getting like 100 leads a month or something, or even lower, it's gonna be easier to sell one person a 2K one-on-one mentorship thing, lifetime or whatever, where you help them one-on-one, than selling 20 of them 100,000 or $100 a month thing. All right. So if you need it, I would go do that. But if you're starting from zero with literally no traffic, honestly, don't set up a high ticket or like your funnel doesn't really matter. Just set up the content, set up the content's unique mechanism, and then set up the system behind that to actually collect leads, because you don't need to monetize yet. Louis has a video on this channel actually that is too early to monetize, and it's never too early to monetize. So after setting up the content and the way to collect leads, then I would set up the system that I'm talking about in this video and the other video, the first link in the description. I would set up those systems right after that. But if you're literally starting from zero traffic, you could have the greatest funnel in the world. It can convert literally 100% of your leads. But guess what? If you're converting 100% of your leads, but you get no leads, how many people are you converting? Zero, right? There's a point in the world where 1,000,000 times zero is still zero. And that point in the world is now, forever, and all of eternity. But if I were you and I'm from absolute zero, I'd post 3 short form videos not a day, not just one, because here's the thing: get a quicker feedback loop. All right, if you're posting, as long as you know it now, if you're posting 1 a day, then obviously you get 1 rep. You get to go watch how that video performs. You get to go analyze it, and then the next day you make 1 better. If you post 3, you get to do that about 3 times a day. You get triple the reps. You get quicker, you get better probably about 2.2. And the reason why I say 2.2 and not 3x is because obviously you get diminishing returns. If you post 10 a day, you'll probably get quicker about 5 times better, right? You get the point. But yeah, I would cross post this everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, Shorts. And then I'd also make sure you're long form as well. It's good to build up a long backlog. And then once you have leads and once you have stuff like that, you can send them to that, put it in the free community. But literally, if you have no leads, all your time should be going into getting leads. So just grind content, make sure you have a lead magnet, collect emails, because I've seen this time and time again. Somebody will blow the fuck up. I'll tell them like, hey, grind the content, and then they do it, but they don't have this shit set up on the back end, and they'll go get fucking 500,000 views, and guess how many leads they get? 0. And then their next video might not do as well, right? And so they just lost a massive gust of wind on a flywheel, and they probably missed out on tens of thousands of dollars. So don't let that happen to you. Make sure you set up the system on the back end to at least collect the leads, even if you don't monetize them instantly, because then you can launch something and monetize those leads later. All right. But yeah, if you have capital, you can run paid ads to hide. If I was starting from scratch and I had capital and I really needed to like blow the fuck up in like months, I'd post a ton of form, I'd post a ton of long form, I'd run ads, I'd make sure my ROAS is good, I'd get a setter to dial these leads, figure out what I'm selling them, sell high ticket, and then also have a low ticket to the unqualified leads. Just a little bit of sauce. But I would not do cold outreach. I've gotten this question. The only reason why I added this is because I actually get this question, believe it or not. But the reason why you don't do this is because it's such a low authority thing, and the info space and online education in general is because if you want to learn from someone, you're not going to learn from the guy who randomly DM'd you out of the blue, right? You want to learn from someone who's valuable enough that you go to them and not the other way around. Make sense? It should. In stage 2, if you're starting from 0, if you're like above 1K a month, okay, I would have already launched a load by now, but just make sure you're actually collecting your leads. If you have 10 plus paying members, you're bang shilling, make sure your low ticket is probably at like $99 minimum. I've had people launch at like $20, $49, and it's like, what are you doing? And that works if you have if your high ticket main thing, your main funnel, then you get a ton of in and warm the fuck out of them and actually engineer the low ticket to build a ton of demand and be really good at building demand for the high ticket. Then you can sell at $20. Get as many leads in as possible, and you don't care about how much money you're making off the low ticket. You care about how many people you can upsell to the high ticket, right? But if you're not doing that, just put it at $99 a month, because it's not, I'm telling you, it's not going to be to get 5 people in at $20 a month, then 1 person in at $99 a month. All right. The hardest jump is getting someone from $0 to putting in their credit card in the first place. So after that, price as high as you can. A big part of it is going to be your authority, right? So it's going to be hard, honestly, for you to charge 10K if you have 184 followers on Instagram and they haven't watched any of your content. You haven't demonstrated any expertise. All right. Now, though, once you're actually getting leads, your phone really matters. So I already would have set this up way before, and this is what we do for our done for you clients. But if you're doing this yourself, now it's really, really important to actually put 704 rule. All right, so make sure you're putting your YouTube videos everywhere. Make sure you have these email automations dialed. Make sure you're hitting them in multiple locations, and you're actually like designing your YouTube videos to be bingeable and CTAing to other YouTube videos, so that you can actually create that flywheel. All right. Make sure you set up your Discord properly. Make sure you actually have the email automations behind the lead magnets now, and make sure your HBCOs are actually legit, solving specific problems and tied into a unique mechanism. Those are all things you should double check at this stage, and then make sure you're posting a decent bit of long form. So honestly, if you have scaled from stage 1 to stage 2 quickly, keep going at that volume. And if you're already doing long form, then stay there. If you weren't doing long form, absolutely, you should plug it in at this stage. All right. If you can get, honestly, it's so easy to hit 10K a month with the right system in place. As long as you can get like, thousands of views on your, and you can actually get maybe like, if you can get 10K a month, is super, super easy. If you can get like 10 a day, 10 leads a day, more than that. If they're high quality leads, ideally majority US based, US, Canada, UK, Australia, as well as those leads are actually not just broke college kids, like you're making the content that targets the right kind of people. It's super high intent educational content. Then 10K a month is really, really easy with even 10 leads a day, because you can sell a low ticket. You might have a few thousand per month in your low ticket, and then you can upsell someone every so often to like a one-on-one mentorship. All right. This is where you start making kind of real money. And I don't like this because it's not true for me, but for a lot of people, 10K a month is life-changing money. So if you can get there and it replaces your day job or something while you're still trading, that's a huge deal. All right. Now, from 10 to 50K, honestly, it gets so much easier the way you go. And so I get this all the time. People are like, hey, I'm gonna wait for, at 10K to with you. And it's like, well, why would you do that? Because one, you have the system in place before. Like the hardest part is actually stages like 1 to 2, stages from like 0 to 2, I mean, getting from 10K in the first place. So why would you go through the hardest part and then make it easier for yourself at the easy part? It doesn't make a lot of sense. But regardless, like this is easy compared to stage 2. All right. So if you're in stage 1 and 2, buckle up and just dial in the content. If you work with us, we have a guarantee, so probably is a little bit of ease of mind. But yeah, 10 to 50K a month. A big part of this, I would probably start plugging in paid traffic, especially if you have a ticket at this point. But long form is going to be huge. All right, like a lot of people plateau around here. They don't have serious YouTube long form content. They basically like specialized in on Instagram, but because they don't have strong long form, it's really, really hard for them to build enough authority to sell higher ticket priced items. And they're more like a signal group at this point, right? If you're not already doing serious YouTube long form content, this is where you absolutely need to dial that in to scale to the next level. You notice the biggest people in the space have insane YouTubes, all right? That's what you want to start doing. And if you have a high ticket, then you can begin exploring paid ads. I would not do paid ads to low ticket because they just won't be profitable up front, unfortunately. If you can dial in a way for the low ticket to upsell to high ticket, then you can explore that. And that's something that we did, and that's how we grew our business, but it's way easier to just run it straight to high ticket, all right? But make sure you're on multiple platforms, you're getting as much traffic as possible, and make sure you're checking your KPIs weekly to be able to actually dial in the system behind the amount of leads you can get, so that, and your product suite. All right, this is where product suite is really important. You want to check all your KPIs, from like how many leads you get, from how many convert to your low ticket, how many of people from your low can be upsold to this, from your mid ticket can be upsold to this, how many people are buying the indicator that are also in the low ticket, stuff like that. All these KPIs, this is what we do for our done for you clients, but this is a point in your business where you should absolutely be exploring that yourself if you're not even working with us. All right. If you're at like 10K plus followers on IG at the point, you're doing like 40K a month, then just make sure you're leveraging stories, broadcast channels, DM automations for like launches, webinars, whatever it is. Right now, your product suite is super, super important. Once you're past 20 and you have stuff dialed in, the only thing that consistently breaks through and like would get you to 50, 100K a month is going to be getting more leads and a bigger product suite and having the system in place to actually keep that dialed in and get those leads to convert. All right. If something works, literally do more of it. Hormozy has this. It's like what you want to do is if that doesn't work, then you do something different or you do something better. And if that doesn't work, then you do something different. All right. So that should kind of be your thing. If posting short form has you to 20K a month, double it. See what happens. If that doesn't work, try doing it better. If that doesn't work, try doing something different. All right. That should be your problem solving kind of mindset. But from 50 to 100, you probably have a sales team at this point. I've had people do 100K loads only, which is pretty cool. And by the way, none of this is including affiliates. If you have affiliates, then revenue numbers probably increase by like 30, 40% for each of these. So if you're doing 100K per month, like from your actual info business, then you're probably making like 20, 30, all right? Or more, or less, depending on who you are and how you frame it. But regardless, now you should start actually worrying about the systems behind your business and sometimes your sales team and actually thinking about the theory of constraints, right? So a lot of the times, this is actually where a lot of people plateau because it's not as simple as do more a lot of the time. Sometimes it is, but a lot of the businesses at this stage, in my experience, have had a unique bottleneck. So a lot of the theory of constraints, like this is generally where we have a ton of value as well, because we can go in, and since we have so much experience with hundreds of trading discords by this point, that we've done literally over, probably at this point 20, but I still say 15 million in revenue in the last 2 years for. You want to find the thing limiting growth, right? So if you're selling a high ticket, maybe it's sales team KPIs, or if you're doing webinars and stuff like that, if you're looking at churn rate, if you're looking at how many leads convert, just whatever the constraint is, check your KPIs. Like this is where this becomes ultra important, because a single leak could cost you tens of thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. All right. But yeah, the path from 50 to 100, it's for me to put all on a slide because it looks wildly different for each business based on where traffic comes from. It's going to be insanely different. Like if you're getting traffic from paid ads, then you're getting traffic from like TikTok lives, right? The system behind that is not different because the system works no matter where your traffic comes from, but the way to scale that traffic and the way to collect leads from that traffic looks wildly different, and the way you actually monetize those can be different based on the demographics, based on the average GDP of the countries that you're hitting, stuff like that. All right. So really, you got to go deep into the theory of constraints for this. But I think this was supposed to be earlier, but just to go over again. All right, but this is nearing the end of the video, so let's recap real quick. To hit 100K per month, here's a checklist. Basically, you want to have a unique mechanism defined and branded. This is the number one thing and the first thing we do for our Done For You clients. You want to make sure you're posting content and you have a lead magnet behind that in some way for your for those leads to actually get the lead. So a lot of the times it's on Instagram through ManyChat, link in bio pages for your TikTok, YouTube, Shorts, whatever it is. Make sure you have a solid free community for conversions. And if you want to set that up yourself, it's going to be a video in the description. It's like how we set up 100K per month trading discords for a Whop 2026 update. So just click that. Make sure your 3 zones are active. Make sure your profits, testimonials, channels, whatever inside of there, have social proof. That's going to be big for, if they don't, then ideally you can go for it and then maybe even put some in there yourself from people DM you, right? Make sure you're posting content very, very consistently. Make sure you have the emails dialed in, sending people to YouTube based on your lead magnets. We have custom email sequences for each lead based on the lead magnet, and it sends them to different YouTube videos based on what they're interested in, so that we can get people binging the YouTube, get sold on the unique mechanism. All right. And then also just make sure you actually have a strong Godfather offer. And then by annual pricing, I really meant product suite. So make sure you have a product suite. It can be low ticket indicator. It can be like a mid ticket group coaching thing. It can be a high ticket one-on-one. And then everything should be running automatically. If it's not, figure out a way to automate it. All right. And so the proof. In the last 2 years, like I just said like 2 minutes ago, in the last 2 years, we've done over in client revenue for our trading discords. And literally, like, this is all you need. You just need a unique mechanism. You need to be posting content. Some guys blow up super, super quick with it. You need to have your magnets. You need to have email automations on the back end or some sort of way for to use that lead and nurture that lead. Make sure Discord is set up correctly. Make sure your systems on the back end are set up to convert these leads. make sure you actually kind of know what you're doing, and then also have product suite. And that's what I mean by pricing. All right. Scaling roadmap, just make sure like you are tracking your KPIs, you know what you're going to do next, you know how you're going to, whether you need to dial in the system to convert, whether you need a new product. Like if everything's dialed in, you're at like 100K a month, then guess what can add 100K a month? Doing a high ticket, doing a big launch, setting up your sales team, doing webinars for it every 2 weeks. So that's going to be huge for you. All right. And this works across all trading niches. We've done $15 million in client revenue these last 2 years for everyone in like every niche: crypto, meme coins, penny stocks, futures, options traders, sellers, like wheel strategy kind of shit. What else we got? You know, ICT traders, support and resistance traders, trend line traders, order flow apps, deep charts, prop traders, live capital traders, even equity guys, like guys who just buy fucking 50,000 shares of Tesla somehow. But it works in literally every niche, because at the end of the day, marketing and sales is the same for every single business. All right. So if you want to go see a lot of the clients we've worked with, a lot of the bigger ones are under NDAs, so we can't mention them. But that's going to be the first, maybe the second link in the description. It's going to be the one where you can book a call to work with us one-on-one. We have a lot of our clients on that page, so you can go click that. Yes, we have an MRR guarantee. If you're interested in that, I'm actually going to talk about that on the next page. All right. So this is going to be a complete walkthrough of the Authority Ascension funnel, and this is the system that I generally explained in this video, but this is going to be a full walkthrough of it with full systems, with actual screenshots for client results, some real Whop dashboards, and our guarantee fully explained. All right. So if you're interested in that, it's going to be at this YouTube link. Don't click that. It's going to be the first link in the description. So just go to the description, click that. And this is for you even if you are at zero, or even if this system will work for you. This why actually our guarantee on the last screen. Let's go. 10K to 100K more. The reason why that range is so big is because if you're first starting out, we probably can't guarantee you much. All right. Like it's going to be hard to guarantee you 100K from one if you have no content. I have no idea how you're going to be good at content, etc. But we've worked with literally some of the top 5, top 10 communities on Whop, and we can guarantee them much, much more based on what their product suite like, etc. So even if you're not under 10K a month, but you are under 10K a month, it will work for you. You want a done for you system build, you're ready to commit to actually posting content consistently and getting this system plugged in for you, go watch this video, because it's going to explain the guarantee and explain a lot more about the system and how you can get it plugged in either for yourself or done for you. All right. But where you are right now, you can definitely grow no matter where you are, unless you're like, even TGR can grow. But if you're doing like 5 million a month, then yeah, I mean, it's going to be, depends how many leads you're getting. 5 million a month with 100 leads, then shit, I don't know. You might be selling them jets or something. I don't know how you're fucking doing that. But the point is, it's just a starting point for you. All right. Like a lot of our guys go from literally zero, blow up really, really quickly. A lot of guys come to us at like 10, 20K, 50K MRR, and we are able to over 100K per month. All right. The system works. We just have to either build it for you. You can build it yourself. If you watch a ton of our YouTube videos, you probably have learned a lot. If you haven't, go watch more of them. Me and Louis' pretty faces are probably the only people on YouTube that talk about this much and have done this much in revenue. So if you have a Discord or an info business in general, then keep watching this channel. All right. The only variable is going to be the way you execute it. Luckily, you can actually work with us who have executed hundreds of times. That's why we can have that guarantee and why we've literally never had to refund anyone under it. And the conditions are very, very simple. You just post 1 short form a day minimum, 1 form a week minimum, and respond to us within a week. And that's in the contract. So if you're interested in learning how that guarantee works and how you can get the system plugged in, done for you, then just click the video there. It's going to take you to that video where I explain the full system with the real client dashboards and the screenshots and everything like that. And it explains the guarantee and how you can get it plugged in for you. So just click there to watch the video, and then I guess subscribe as well, so that you can see more of our videos. If you're interested in content to actually scale your trading Discord and make money so you can replace your job or whatever it is, then obviously you're going to want to watch more of our videos. So just click there, and I'll see you on that video.